What's up, my construction entrepreneurs? Tyrone Jones here. It's a Saturday, peoples. It all's like the same for me. It don't matter what day it is, right? Turn those air around. So it's Saturday. I got a lot planned for this Saturday. I actually just went and looked at a job that someone sent me over from Craigslist. Now people always wonder, like, hey man, you're established. Why do you go to Craigslist? I want everybody to understand this: is that one, as I continue to grow more and more, I go to Craigslist less and less, right? But also, too, I know Craigslist is a platform that potential customers of mine are going on to find me or to find you, right? There's no true platform that a customer can go to without having to give 20 minutes of information and get contractors to call them, right? Homeowners, customers, they can literally go to Craigslist, type in a sentence or two about that project, and get people to call them. You know how much less work that is versus going to any other platform? Bid Clerk. They can put their job on Bid Clerk for free. They can put their job on Home Advisor for free and get contractors to call them. But the amount of information that's needed, a lot of homeowners don't want to go through that, right? So now Craigslist is a place where you're going to get a lot more riff and raff, right? But you got to learn how to shift through a lot of that. So anyway, so someone sent me a contact. So basically, let me go, and before I continue that, let me say this. So whatever platform is that source in your area, you need to be looking on there once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, depending on how much you need work, right? I don't need a lot of work from Craigslist, so I'm on there very rarely, but I am still on there, okay? So you need to find Craigslist may not be that source in your area. It may be Angie's List. It may be Home Advisor. It may be whatever you feel new customers are going to find contractors, you need to be looking on. Whatever that is in your area. I don't care if you're out the country, okay? Whatever it is, that's where you need to be at. And you need to also, what follows behind that platform you're going on. Like here, Craigslist, I know is a platform where people are looking for cheap work, cheap contractors, may not pay you, all this stuff. But those same people are your customers that you may land outside of Craigslist. That's always the issue. That's always the danger. So don't allow that to stop you from going after whatever you need to go after to get the work. And that's what I think people don't understand, is like they see I'm doing 7, 9, and 12 jobs. And they're like, hey, so how are you getting that work? Well, that's the back end of it. That's the work that's done behind the scenes, is going on Craigslist looking, calling on property management companies, right? I'm calling on 10 a day, what if I'm calling a few, my partner's calling a few, the admin girl's calling a few, whatever it is, I'm calling on people that have my work. I'm emailing people that have my work. And that's how I'm getting more customers and getting more jobs. And I'm able to, provide enough work for these 9 employees I have. Okay. So you have to put in the work. And if you put all these sticklers up there, like, oh, I don't want to go on there because that's where cheap work is at, or I don't want to go on there because they don't have enough information, or I don't want to go on there because I got burned one time, or I don't. Dude, if you're gonna have I don't, you're not gonna make it in this business. Okay? You're not gonna make it in this business. The only thing you need to do is, how do I change my approach? How do I look at this differently? How do I become resourceful? How do I get past that hurdle? That's what you need to be asking yourself. Okay? Not bringing up the issues and the problems within this. That's it. That's what you need to be doing. Okay? Because you need to go out here and go get this work, and you need to fight for this work, and you need to constantly go get it every day. Every day you need to be contacting people. What customers have you contacted today? Today is Saturday. How many people? I contacted 3 people about jobs today. 3 people. I just text one right before I made this call. And he says, yup, yeah, you good for the 4th. We got a job for you on the 4th. Oh, good job, man. Yes. Send it over so I can do that. Okay? So you have to put in the work to get the work. You can't sit at home and just hope things will come, or just expect things to just happen. You need to go out and put the fillers out. You need to email. You need to text. You need to make phone calls, cold emails, warm emails, whatever it is. You need to do it. And a lot of us think that just because we had our license for a while, or just because we do good work, that everything is just supposed to flow to us. Everything is just supposed to just happen. And whatever's happened is a blessing. Man, dude, go out here, put in the work to get this thing going. That's what you need to do. You need to go out here, put in the work to get it going. So, I get this this job from Craigslist, right? My GPS is going crazy because I'm trying to get to this next location, and I'm like, it just like keep trying to loop me back that way. I'm like, no, I want to go this way, dude. So I get this job, and I was supposed to go look at it yesterday, but I got busy with trying to get these W-2s out to the guys to make sure they got it, and then also meeting with a customer so we can get paid at that residential job. So kind of some things took priority. So I wound up, I said, hey, I'm gonna go look at it today. So talked to the customer. It was very hard. He had a strong accent, so it was very hard for me to understand him. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna come look at it. He said, hey, what's your price? What do you charge for this? I said, every job is different. See, I want to try to avoid, I don't have a square footage price, right? He said, what's your square footage price? I said, I don't have a square footage price. Every job is different, and I price it accordingly. He says, all right, well, what would you do for this much? I say, all right, so perfect scenario, this is how much this will be. He says, all right, man, come look at it. So I guess I gave him a low enough price to spark his interest, to give me the address to come look at it. Now, mind you, before I even did that, he wanted my license number, right? So he's already leery on that. So I was like, okay, something happened here. Now, I'm bringing this up because these are the things that you need to pay attention to as you're talking to these potential customers. Remember, you need to vet people as well as like they're vetting you. Okay, so I go out there, I text them, hey, I can't show up today, about tomorrow. I say, hey, let's do 8 a.m. He's like, can't do 8 a.m., I can do 10 a.m. I said, all right, bet. I did 10 a.m., so I showed up there. And he's in his car, and he's carrying all this stuff in his hands, like packages of like plates and receptacles. And I'm like, dude, this looks funny. And he got the door open to the house, and I see a bunch of tools and stuff against the wall, and I'm like, is it just you here? He's like, yeah, it's just me. That's the sign right there. Okay, I'll explain. So I see all the forms are done for the concrete, and the rebar is in for the concrete, right? But I'm noticing some things, how it was done. It's making me look at other areas, and I'm bringing it up to him to catch his response, and also to understand where I need to price this at. Okay, say, hey man, some of these forms are a little bit crooked, needs to be straightened up. Oh, no, they're fine. So I realized, one, he's a fast talker. Two, there's a culture difference as well, right? So in his culture, the way he's talking, like he's talking very high strung to me. He's talking very fast to me. And that may be something in his culture, but in my culture, to me, that's a sign that you may not be the customer that I need at this point on where I'm at, right? If you would have caught me 3 notches down, then maybe I would have dealt with what you're putting out, okay? So now I'm here, so I'm just like, okay, so let's continue to talk with him. walk the job. I'm like, hey man, so there's some areas that need to be fixed. I'm pointing it out as we walk in. He was like, oh yeah, we can touch that up and this and that, and still talking kind of fast, and he's bringing up that I said, hey, so why are you calling me in right now? Why didn't you have the person that did the forms and the rebar do the work? He says, I did some of this work here. The guy walked off the job, and now his license is revoked right now. He walked off the job to several people. But now I'm saying it to you like this, but he's saying it to me. I'm not going word for word. He's saying it to me in a different way that making me want to ask more questions, right? Like it wasn't just like a brush off. It was just like, yeah, he walked off the job and that happens here. We're in Southern California, and I'm like, what? That don't happen always, man. Like I didn't tell him that. This, sometimes you just attract those bad contractors to you because maybe you're like that, or your character is like that. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying sometimes we attract different people to us, whether in business or in personal life. So he's like, yeah, this guy, this and that, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, and this and that. And so I was like, okay, man, that's fine. So I'm asking some more questions. And he's like, yeah, I need this done, and who would you do it for? I say, hey, let's finish walking so I can really understand what it is. He was like, oh, do you do top cast? And I explained I do top cast, what number top cast I do in the last job. I was like, dude, I don't do top cast every day. That's not that's not what I do every day. Last time I did top cast was 3 months ago, man. Is that an issue for you? No. So we're walking, looking. And I get over there, and I know it's like the rebar is very low to the ground. They dug out holes where the adobes were at. Makes me think that they put in the adobes after. It's just a lot of things just bringing up to me that I'm just like, I'm pointing it out. And as I'm pointing it out, he's getting high strung. Like, oh, this is fine. And I said, listen, man, you're going to expect me to do a good job. For me to do a good job, I need the job that I'm taking over I'm expecting that to be good. So a lot of this workmanship needs to be touched up for me to do it. Because why? When the finished product comes out and something happens, there's cracks or maybe we didn't get enough depth or concrete, there's some voided areas, and it shows in the cosmetics, of the concrete, man, then you're going to be questioning me. You're not going to want to pay me. It's always literally taking over a job that a contractor has walked off or that you have kicked off or had issues, whatever it is. It's always tough taking over a job from someone else. So I have to ask this question. Oh, I understand this. Listen, say, hey, buddy, you know what? Thank you for meeting me, but no thank you for the job. Good luck to you, man. Okay, why? Hey, man, listen, man. What I'm getting from you, I can tell that you're not my customer, and I'm in a position to walk away, and I want to walk away and wish you the best, man. And my tip to you is bring it down a little bit, and not bring what you was dealing with one customer to a new customer, so you can get somebody in here to do this. I'm going to do it. I'll get it done. That's fine. Okay. And I walked off. But I'm bringing this up to you just to say, like, hey, listen, so years ago, when I was desperate, I would have ignored all those signs. And I would have ignored them because I was desperate. So you got to get out of desperate state so where you can take heed to those signs that you get that's not your customer. That may be someone else's customer, but that's not my customer. And I don't need that job and the headache that comes with that job at this point where I'm at. So you go in, and so I asked him, like his number, asked him for his ID. I was vetting him. What happened? If I would have continued on with this, next I would have asked him for the contractor information I would have asked him for the past contractors, the existing contractors that's working here and the past contractors working here. If he would have given me trouble, like, nope, I'm not going to give it to you, because that dude's in the past, and I would have walked away. that's fine, man. I haven't seen enough here to validate for me to move forward with this unless you give me that information. If I would have got past the point, the job walk, right, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a number, I would have required additional information from him so I can find out, you know, like when I looked at that job and I could see inside the house, it seemed like he may have bit off more than what he can actually do. And you can tell how long the rebar has been sitting. It's like, okay, there's some issues here. And how I know is because I did it. I mismanaged funds before and lost on the job and had a homeowner complain to the board on me, you know? So you know, when you're a new contractor, you're taking on these projects, a lot of times you give the wrong pricing, you take on too much work, you don't know how to address extra work, and you don't know how to deal with contractors, subcontractors that come on your job. You know, you're just learning things. So, you know, I wish that dude the best, but that wasn't my customer, and I had to walk away from that job. So I want you to gain the same thing. You gotta put your fillers out. Don't come to a job in a desperate state. And if you are in a desperate state, you need to get to a different place when you go into those jobs. And sometimes you gotta write down questions before you get there that you need to be asking. And the reason why is because once you get to the job and you're in a desperate state, you see things differently if you have nothing to go back to kind of structure you to ask these questions. So you get excited on the flip side. Okay, you get excited and then you just start looking at things, be like, okay, I can figure this out. You start working in your mind on the solutions and ignoring all the true signs that you need to have. You need to go back to your questions and stay firm and ask those questions that you came up with before you got there. That way you don't put yourself deeper into a desperate state by taking on more problem jobs. We can't be taking on more problem jobs. That is not the goal here, okay? So, let me know what you feel about that. Text me. Let me know what you thought about it for as the information I provided, and was it right for me to walk away from that job? And have you ran into situations where you had to walk away from a job, or you're not in that place where you find yourself walking away from jobs? Let me know. Because walking away from a job is not easy, especially when you need to work or you want to work or you think the work is a slam dunk. It's hard to walk away from those jobs. Let me know how you feel. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll talk to you guys soon. In the meantime, hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one.